Connection Cure Florida was one of the most unexpected, magical, fairy tale-like months that I have had to date while doing the Connection Cure project. Part of what I knew that I was going to do there was going to visit this little town called Weeki Wachee, Florida, to visit this roadside attraction called Weeki Wachee Springs, where a group of legendary women have been swimming as mermaids in this roadside attraction since the 1950s. I really didn't know much of anything about it, but when I found out about them, somebody connected me to Vicki. And I spoke with Vicki on the phone once for an hour, and she had the most amazing energy.
I used to swim here in 1957 through 1961. I'm the oldest still performing mermaid at Weeki.
You're the oldest still performing mermaid at Weeki.
I am.
This famous lady right here.
Let's go see the mermaid.
Vicki and I spent the whole morning together where she toured me around this place that from when she was in her 20s, she swam underwater as a mermaid.
Well, if you were to define what a mermaid is outside of you, what is a mermaid?
Well, a mermaid knows perfect tranquility under the water. It's just you and it's like having, oh gosh, silver rivulets covering you when you dive into a world of aquamarine, and all these silver bubbles cover your body. And when you get down there, it's quiet and it's calm, and you don't feel wind, you feel the current rushing past your body.
So we are going to Mermaid Vicki's house. That's her driving in front. We literally just met 4 hours ago, and I'm spending the night at her house because I don't have anywhere to stay. And she invited me. And when did it become more than a job?
When I became relaxed in the water, and I really became a true mermaid. You watch out for one another. You love one another. You're in this together. You know, there's an old saying, once a mermaid, always a mermaid, and it's very true. When you leave, you always want to go back just one more time.
Being in Vicki's home, it was like being with a grandmother. But it was like being with a grandmother that I loved so long and unconditionally, and I hadn't seen her in so long. It never ever once felt like she was a stranger. And we sat on her couch, and I wrote in my journal, and she sewed, and then we cooked eggs for dinner, and we chatted, and we laughed, and we looked at old scrapbooks, and it was one of the most magical experiences.
What was it about the water that drew you towards it even at a young age?
Well, I didn't really know what peace was or meant, but it gave me peace as a child. It was a magical world. It was my Disney world, so to speak. And it was all there. It was all natural. It wasn't man-made. One of my favorite things to do was to dive down and be under the water. You can go in angry at something, you can go in pain, you can go in hungover, you can go in, this is all part of life. You can have all these different conflicting emotions, but the minute you dive in that water, I swear, it's so, you're just in another world. Because it can't be described, you can't explain the magic that is there, and every mermaid that's ever swam at Weeki Wachee uses that word. It's magic. All of us call it the magic, and it is like entering a different world of peace and tranquility and beauty. This is strange to me when I think back. I never really talked about it. Because how can you explain that to somebody?
The thing that I love about Vicki is that not only did she give me insight into what it truly meant to feel this deep, deep sense of belonging, she actually made me believe in magic. She made me believe in this word that I usually think of as something that is so, otherworldly. But what Vicki taught me and what I learned just from being in her presence is that magic is all around us. Like, life can be a fairy tale if we let it. And that's what my experience was with Vicki. She opened her door to magic.
Everyone has their own story, but we all call it the magic because I don't know what other word to use. It's serene, it's peaceful, it's beautiful, it's exhilarating, it's exciting, but it's very calming. All of those and more.
If you move away, if you go to a strange city and you find out there's a mermaid living there, you got to look her up. You got to find out who she is and when she swam, and then then the conversation starts and you never want to stop talking about her.
And the mermaids understand because we share so much in the water. We understand those feelings when they reach the surface. Because you've shared the silence of that depth, it strengthens that understanding. Something that we share as Weeki Wachee mermaids, no one else in the world has shared.
How do you want your great-grandchildren and your grandchildren and your children, or the legend that you are? What is that?
A Weeki Wachee mermaid.
Just sitting with her and having a conversation felt like magic. It felt like love. It felt like connection and belonging. It felt sacred. I left that experience feeling different in my body, feeling healthier, feeling stronger, feeling more joyful, and feeling like I can create and connect with magic anywhere.